the brightest have come over here. Literally, what is left is not necessarily, it's largely mediocre. And so also the work ethic has been affected by that sending back and all that. We in the Alliance for Change want Guyanese overseas to help in the process of ensuring that you communicate with them through the telephone, the internet, the emails, the letters that you write, and tell them that, hey, let's make the change. Let's make the right turn. We have made the wrong turns all along with wrong leaders and wrong policies. We have what is called a party on the shelf now that you can choose from. PNC, PPP, AFC now. Please choose the correct one. You have given the other two largely a chance and an opportunity, one for 28 years and another one for almost 21 coming down. We feel that it is important that that message be communicated to them. But more than that, brothers and sisters, it's important to understand that to run a campaign requires resources. Jagdeo has plenty from all of that which he collects all across the place through the friendly contracts and concessions he has given to very many of his friends. The Amila Falls deal, a man never make a road and he's given $15 million to make a road. You know Mr. Fip Motilao? I think he's out from Florida here. Yeah, that's right. Never made a road, and he's given $15 million to make a road in the interior of the country. People are given contracts for medicines. People are given concessions that are illegal, and instead of taking it back from those persons, what Mr. Jagdeo does, he goes and he legalizes it with an act of parliament that the concessions given illegally is hereby made legal. Could you imagine that? I was in parliament when that was done. And do you know what happened? All of them, Donald Ramotal, Nagamutu, surprisingly, all of them says, yes, we support it. And that is why I'm saying that it ain't got changed, even if you're going to say, well, Jagdeo is going to be removed and some other leader is going to lead that party. The party is inherently rotten, head to heart. And we seek now your understanding of that. So come next time, we're going to get the support from you. In the diaspora, it is very much something that I want to inform you about, and that is your influence here. You send monies. They look upon you as bright people. They look upon you as exemplars. They look upon you as people who they ought to make their heroes, some of them. So there is tremendous influence in the minds back home of people of your ilk. And that is why, knowing how life is in a liberal democratic country like America, you must try as best as possible to ensure that it happens back home. And it has happened all across the world. Hosni Mubarak today has to go largely because of diaspora people and technologies today, Facebook and all kinds of things causing him to be removed. We can bring that free and fair elections, we can bring that better governance to Guyana if we appreciate that we can make certain things happen here which can be transmitted back home and then allow them to make their choice. We have to break traditions. The cultural barriers are plenty. But let me tell you this, like what happened in America here, where 107 million white people can vote for a black person. We have to start eliminating that kind of ethnic-based politics from Guyana so that we can get race-based, and we're going to put the best man up there. They're going to come with all varieties of propaganda. What are they going to do? That Ramjattan and Raphael Trotman fighting in the party. They love to say that. That we fighting up and we broken up. And you know who fighting up and broken up today in Freedom House? Is Nagamutu fighting, Ralph Ramkaran fighting, Robert Passad, and all of them fighting there. I always fought for the right things, and I was expelled for that. Yes, you were there. And that is exactly what I want people to do. You see, we do this thing, and that is probably, and I have to conclude, that we have to go back to sometimes our religion. And when I started that movement inside of the PPP, that we must transform the PPP from what it is then to something new, they indicated to me, Khemraj, we're going to destroy this movement. I said, no, absolutely not. We are going to make it better. And if you don't want to make it better, then, well, of course, you got to do what you got to do with me. I'm going to go outside. And I did that. But we have to understand that the principles that now govern that movement are not the principles that Cherry Jagan would have stood for. We have to appreciate that there are some sins being committed. Sins that I remember the great Mahatma Gandhi talking about. And one of them is wealth without work. You go Guyana today, there's tremendous riches all over. You check it out. You don't know what these guys are doing. Mercedes, Benz and BMWs. Wealth without work. You see plenty of them putting up some big
houses. The other sin that Gandhi talked about, commerce without a conscience. They rip the tax system apart. They under-invoice. They under-declare. And because they are friends of the government, this oligarchic cabal, none of them are prosecuted. Or even when they are prosecuted, somehow you could never get a conviction. Commerce without a conscience. But more than that, we have these political entrepreneurs, especially in the PPP today, who are going to play the politics of race. And we got to end it. And that is why I say the other third sin that Gandhi mentioned, politics without principles. We must be principled. When we do that, brothers and sisters, we are going to win the victories. Guyana won that one-day cricket match. Remember when Narsingh Ryan hit that final 6 in the last ball? By the efforts, united efforts of Travis Dowling making 80, the Crandon brothers taking the catches, and the little Koulibaly knocking the ball for 6. When we unite, we're going to win victories and millions of dollars like that. And we have to appreciate that it is in that unity. Because we can't divide the country. We can't separate the counties and put one place there. We cannot. We have to live together in that country. So yes, we're going to do the economic things. But more than that. And how do we do that finally? We have to bring an education policy in place that will cause Indo-Guyanese to appreciate Afro-Guyanese for what they are. We have to appreciate that from very young, it is we who instill in the minds of young people the phobias and the fears, the hatreds because of racial stereotyping. Black man are like for work. And then the black man feel that coolie people, they only want money in their pocket and they corrupt. And the stereotypes will go on and on and on, and for eternity, unless we start the education policies and implement them to ensure that that is brought to a halt. This is no way else. There is no other place. But elections time come. The PNC and the PPP, political entrepreneurs within those parties, will play the race card. Not bother with Ramjattan, not bother with Raphael Trotman. Y'all black people must come home. And then the political entrepreneurs on the PDP side, you Indo-Guyanese, come home. And we have it again. And then we end up
as my mom would tell me, we bunbunai for 5 years and then we do stupidness for 2 minutes in the ballot box. All we are asking people, you do not need to go and demonstrate like in Hosni Mubarak's Egypt. For 2 minutes in that ballot box, you and your God talk to each other. Is this good?